Ele nasceu George Schwartz, na Budapeste de 1930, 9 anos antes do início da Segunda Guerra Mundial. Tinha 13 anos, em 44, quando o exército nazista ocupou a Hungria. Aos 18 anos, foi para Londres, onde, graças a uma bolsa de estudos, cursou filosofia na London School of Economics. O homem mundialmente conhecido como George Soros criou o fundo de investimento mais bem-sucedido da história. No dia 16 de setembro de 1992, se transformou no homem que quebrou o Banco da Inglaterra. Na chamada Quarta-feira Negra, o fundo de Soros apostou 10 bilhões de libras contra a moeda inglesa e impediu que a Inglaterra entrasse na zona do euro. Anos mais tarde, ele admitiu ter lucrado mais de 1 bilhão de libras só naquele dia. Chamado por muitos de mega especulador, Soros também acumula o papel de filantropo desde os anos 70. Financiou estudos de jovens negros na África do Sul do apartheid e, mais tarde, foi decisivo no apoio aos movimentos que precipitaram a queda do bloco comunista no leste europeu. Afastado do dia a dia do mercado financeiro desde o início do ano, George Soros esteve no Rio de Janeiro em abril para a reunião anual da fundação que criou, a Open Society, que está expandindo as atividades na América Latina. A Globo News foi o único canal de televisão que conversou com Soros durante essa visita.
Mr. Soros, thank you for talking to Global News. Well, I'll start asking you, why Brazil? Why did you pick this country to have your annual meeting, your foundation annual meeting?
Yes, this is the meeting of the global board, which is the governing board of the foundation's activities all over the world. And the reason we came here is because we are expanding our activities in Latin America. We have appointed an advisory board of Latin Americans who will guide us on our activities in Latin America. And we have, the purpose of this meeting here is to bring us together and to formulate that strategy.
With your foundation that, if I'm not mistaken, started exactly to increase transparency in the world and in East Europe and all. Is that one of the reasons why you're coming to Brazil, the scandals, the corruption we are seeing this past year?
No, that's coincidental. This is something that's more long-lasting. We are now developing a strategy for the foundation that will continue beyond my lifetime. So we are sort of reorganizing the foundation, institutionalizing the foundation so that it will outlive me. Originally, I was going to spend all my money during my lifetime, but we decided that that's too selfish, that there are going to be needs for the foundation to continue. And the most important need, I think, is to continue supporting civil society, to hold governments and people in power responsible and accountable for how they use their power, which is delegated to them from the people.
We've seen Petrobras, we've seen the government, we've seen businessmen involved in donations to the party or to that were illegal. Some of these people are arrested, some are still being investigated. Does that give you a sense of something is being done or a negative feeling about this country, about Brazil?
I think to some extent is due to the fact that in the last 15 years or so, Brazil has developed some independent institutions that are watching the public interest. And you also have a very lively media that are with investigative journalism. These are all positive institutional developments. and they reveal corruption, which probably before was hidden. So the fact that it has come to the surface is, in my opinion, actually a step forward, because it means that people are aware of it, they object to it, and I hope some better arrangements will come.
We also have a big problem with violence. I know that some people from your team have been at BOPE yesterday, the Special Operations Police. We have a big fight for many years against traffic, against drugs. Sometimes it looks like it's getting better. Other times, like the past month, violence looks like it's increasing again. What is your view? What countries that have this problem so strongly?
Yeah.
What should we do?
Drug policy has been central for one of the issues that we started attacking 25 years ago. And I think we are making progress, and actually Latin America is leading the way because we recognize that addiction is an insoluble problem, but it's basically a public health problem. And treating addicts as criminals makes it more difficult to deal with the problem of addiction. So we have to distinguish between drug users who are victims and drug dealers who are exploiting them. And because of the fact that they are often treated as criminals, it's easier to exploit them. And I think the Global Commission on Drugs has made some real advances in convincing the public that this is the right approach.
Some years ago, we had a Brazilian businessman, oil and gas businessman, Ike Batista. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yeah.
At number 8 at Forbes billionaire list, saying promising he was going to be at number 1 sometime soon. That didn't happen. And I was wondering, what do you think about that? And the competition, when you see Warren Buffett, when you see Bill Gates, is that important? The competition is important to achieve more?
Generally speaking, competition is a good thing, but it shouldn't be overdone, because you also need cooperation, particularly when the financial markets have been globalized. Globalization spread like wildfire, because globalization allowed individuals, capitalists, and companies to escape by moving their assets, regulation and taxation. But markets left to their own devices are unstable. The lack of taxation, of course, makes the rich richer, and the difference between rich and poor wider. So to correct those deficiencies, you do need international cooperation. And that is very difficult, because regulation and taxation are matters of the national states and sovereignty. You have globalization, but the globalization of regulation has not caught up with the globalization of markets.
Is the most successful investor in the world, at the same time, one of the biggest philanthropists in the world. It sort of goes in different directions. In one side, you fight to make money. The other side, you're donating money. Some people say an evil speculator, and on the other side, you're giving away money for very forgotten causes sometimes, right? Who are you?
There is a connection. There are two different aspects, and actually I spent more or less all my life trying to connect the two and find the right balance, which at my old age I have found, because I've finally retired from running money and I'm fully devoted now to philanthropy. It's a special kind of philanthropy based on my philosophy, which has guided me both in making money and in spending it. And it's my mentor was the philosopher Karl Popper, who taught me about the importance of critical thinking. And being a good pupil, I actually became a critic of his philosophy also, and have developed it further. And it's that philosophy that guides me in both activities. And until recently, I thought that that my philosophy was really a personal affair. It's something that was guiding me. But the financial crisis of 2007-8 has actually convinced me that actually my conceptual framework may be a valuable contribution to mankind's understanding. So I used to consider myself a failed philosopher, but now in my old age, I actually claim to be a serious philosopher.
My last question, last one. Okay,
no,
great.
That's okay. We can be a little late because we did start late.
Thank you,
so
sir. Thank you very much.
Good.
Well, Ukraine and Russia, I've been hearing you saying that this is the biggest risk in the world today, even possibly helping to disintegrate the European Union, which is a very important project,
yes.
Right? Is that still the case?
First of all, my interest in Ukraine has some personal reasons, and then there is let's say an objective, subjective reasons and objective. The subjective reason is that I set up a foundation in Ukraine, an open society foundation, 25 years ago, which is actually before Ukraine became independent. So it's older than Ukraine itself. Yeah. And that foundation has been at the center, at the core of the resistance to Russian aggression. And basically, almost all the people involved in what I call a unique experiment in participatory democracy are somehow connected with the foundation. So that's a subjective reason. Because of that, I really understand the situation more, and I think that it is one of the most important crises confronting the world. Settling it the right way would make a big difference with resolving all the other crises that are now multiplying in the world, because the crises don't get settled. They grow, they multiply.